with the best talent, they ensure we save time, increase our precision, and add value to every task that we undertake. Headed by Arnab Ganguly, is this team of people who add fillip to every business vertical through artificial intelligence and innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage the most endearing personality, the Buddha of Adecco, the technology guru, Arnab Ganguly on the stage. Let us hear from him how he intends to partner with us to drive Adecco Vision 2023. Over to you, Arnab. Thank you.
I'm in a very sort of unique position because I'm in a position where I have the smallest team of the leadership team, and yet my team works with almost everybody here. If you look at some of the projects which we'll go through. Could the BT team stand up, please? Okay. So I really don't know why they chose to sit at the back, but they did. Okay, so our work is a little different from the other teams. We essentially work in project mode. So we do one project, we move on to another. Sometimes we do multiple projects at the same time. And given the bandwidth that we have, we always take help from some business unit or support unit to be integral part of that project. So obviously there will be some of the projects that you will see on these slides will have some commonality with what you have seen before, because it is always collaborative for us. We are always collaborating with others in the business. Now these are the main areas that we work for. So we start with the one-off engagements at the bottom. So some of the examples of one-off engagements that we have done. Asset recovery, which very few people would know, but there is a large amount of assets which are sort of not really tracked very properly. And we help the company recover a lot of that along with IT, of course. Then another one-off deployment which only PS people would probably know is the PS redeployment database, where we have created a database with the help of external, with an intern for a few weeks of more than 3,000 people, where all skill details, contact details, everything is available in that database for people to be contacted and redeployed onto other contractual positions as their contracts end. The third one, which is still going on, and it needs to end in January or latest February, mid-February, is the document repository, which is an GIA audit point, and people need to move faster than we have been doing till now in order to close the requirements for the repository. So it's not only about audit, it is also about being able to work properly, because let's say, for example, you need a particular contract suddenly, you should be able to find that contract quickly. If you're not able to do that, then people get the impression, especially auditors get the impression that you don't maintain your documents properly. And then you get an adverse remark with other consequences. So please do take it seriously and move it faster. The second one on programs and projects, so that is, we're going anti-clockwise. Programs and projects, which is something which we sort of bread and butter for us, different programs, projects, we have done many. I'm not going to list all of them because there are many of them. So some of the large ones I will list. Some of them started last year, still going on, will end in Q1. One very important one, ISO 27000 certification. Now, it's a forward-looking project initiated by Vidya last year, and where we are working with an external. So we will come back to many people in this room before the audit and also during the audit for ISO 27K. So it has business implications because there are new laws going to be passed in India which talk about privacy and talk about information control. And once that is done, this will be a huge business upper hand against the competition, because any customer giving you business, they will ask you for this certification. In fact, PS, we have already got one case where the customer is asking for ISO 27K certification. Then a project which you heard before, Samurai, Project Samurai for PERM, which Aarti referred to. Project Samurai for PERM was a very small team of 3 people led by Astha, who is sitting here somewhere, and who has very recently moved to a global role from the BT team. So again, we sort of collaborate across the company beyond India. So there are other things which some people may know. Some of it happens in the background, so some may not know. One is the centralization of background verification. So earlier, background verification was done different parts of the company. Now, what's happened is it has been centralized with SSC, with a lot of collaborative work with SSC and with one person from BT leading it, Anshuman. We are able to centralize the whole BT process, whole BGV process. Now, some people who know these cases will appreciate that we have lost certain amount of revenue in the past due to BGV issues, and the implementation of this centralization will help support us in a situation where we don't lose revenue because customers don't pay up saying that, okay, you did not submit BGV required certificates, etc. So compliance, not only compliance, but also commercial. So the others, I'm not going to get into all of them. So there's one area which is all team leaders, managers, and other people who head teams or head business would know about, and even users would know about, many of them, is about a couple of portals that we have built. One of them we have built for PERM, which is based on SharePoint, where recruiters put in their data, and from there we can get business intelligence. There are many other automated reports today. So for example, the onboarding report. Today we can give you an automated onboarding report in your mailbox every morning. And that will be refreshed in the morning, so you'll get fresh data. You can see the report on a graph. You don't need to go through Excel, you don't need to put a filter, you don't need to do any sort of manipulation on Excel. So you can directly see the reports, and seeing a graph is much easier than looking at 1,000 numbers on Excel. So we have done that, and there are many others in the pipeline. So we will continually improve or increase the number of these kind of things. Then another big one before we move on to the next slide is the automation and creation of applications. So some of you, sales, commercial, sales, finance, and legal also at the end of the process, we have automated, or we have put the entire deal approval flow right from the time sales creates a request to the time a customer is created on the system within commercial. The entire process is now in a flow. No emails, everything is on a single platform. There's a record for everything, and everything is streamlined. So of course, we have the facility of going back and forth, so you may not agree with finance, and you may go back and forth till there is an agreement on the pricing. All that is available in the system. So please do use it. This is called the CMT, which somebody was referring to. It's working for PERM at the moment. It will soon work for staffing. So all of Adecco, it will work for very soon. So we are just testing a few things before we make that live. So I think time is very short. So there are some benefits. The numbers, I don't know whether you can read right at the back, but it's in the order of crores of rupees due to either revenue loss saved or due to direct gains from automation. So the exact figure is not that important, but the fact that we have been able to save very significant amounts of money, also significant amounts of revenue loss due to the work that we have done collaboratively with different teams. Then moving on to 2023 areas which are sort of very high level for this audience, but which require a lot of detailed work and which will be done during 2023. The first one, super simplified onboarding, which we will show you a video, very short 40 seconds video showing how the flow will take place. And process automation and RPA, which others was referring to mostly, where we will try and make most of the processes automated. So you can see us sort of touching processes across the organization. Of course, I talked of CMT, which does not touch so much of SSC, but it touches commercial, it touches finance, it touches legal, and sales, of course, is the starting of the process. Then there are some core process enhancements. So there are many core processes like hiring, like invoicing, and there are many more. So we are already working on some of them. Invoicing we have already worked on, and from there we get this figure of around 98% accuracy currently. But what we need to also understand is that on the invoicing front, we are generally not so timely in submitting invoices. Now there could be many reasons for that. One of them could be that the timing of you getting inputs is usually always delayed. So if I go by probability, I could say if you want to make a statement, sort of a judgment call, I can easily say that you will be late in submitting the invoice. It's most likely that you will be late because 90% of the inputs come late. So if 90% of the inputs come late, everything happens after inputs. So if the inputs come late, payroll is still not delayed, luckily, or because of the hard work of a lot of PEs, and then the invoicing part takes place, and so it gets delayed. Now, of course, looking at the time, 2 minutes 40 seconds on this timer that I have left, and my timer is already gone, right?